All right. What's up, everybody? Thanks again. I really do want to send out some thank yous for all of you that ended up posting all of those comments on my last video last week. You guys have absolutely no idea how encouraging all of your comments were. I didn't reply to anyone's comment. I didn't want anyone to think that I was playing favorites or anything like that. So I didn't actually say anything to anyone. But I want you to know that I read each and every single one of those comments. So last week was really, really hard for me. It just was. I'd like to say that it was any one thing, but I do want, if nothing else, I did want to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what it is as far as what's involved with doing YouTube, okay? So a lot of people think that it's just as easy as, hey, well, you just, make some videos, you upload them, and that's it. There's so much more that's involved. And I know that there's lots of YouTubers do it every single day. The one thing that I can say, at least to all of you, is that the pressure of making videos for YouTube is not bad whatsoever if it's not your primary source of, if it's not your primary job. If it is, the only way that YouTubers are genuinely rewarded is you basically have to make videos every single day. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Thank you also to Michael. And the pressure of that every single day is just absolutely exhausting. And I have seen a lot of other YouTubers that ended up going through essentially what I went through. You just get burnt out. You just don't want to do videos as much anymore. You just don't want to be as involved. And you just, anything surrounding your topic just seems like, I don't really want to talk about it. Or, I'm not interested. And I do want to say that I'm still kind of in that place where I'm not really all that interested. I have some amazing cameras. So for me to sit around and talk about a bunch of cameras that I am not interested in, or to talk about lenses that I probably are never going to own, a lot of other YouTubers just say what they need to say to get the content out, so that they can keep their views up, so that YouTube will continue to reward them. And I'm not really for sure if I want to do that. If I did, things would just have to be fundamentally different on this channel. So while I am feeling better, I'm not exactly ready to jump back in, full steam ahead with a video every single day. I just don't think that that's in the cards for me right now. But I do want to do something interesting. I do want to do something different. I do want to do something, more, I don't know, just different. Make things the way you want, make things that you want to watch that way. That way you'll keep your interest up and creativity flowing. See, that's the thing, is that as far as like my personal creativity, I think that I could probably continue that indefinitely. I could probably do that, at any time. I literally could probably do it at any time, and crank out some good content for myself. It is creating stuff for you that makes the difference, I think, when it comes to figuring out exactly what you all want to talk about. Making sure that I'm creating things and talking about things that you guys are actually interested in. So it's tough because there's really not a good mechanism on YouTube for you as an audience of any YouTube channel to really go, hey man, I've got an idea, toss this out here. So I'm trying to think of something. I'm not really sure what that's going to be yet, because I know that not every one of my YouTube watchers live anywhere else. You know, they don't necessarily live anywhere else. I know for a fact that all of my YouTube viewers are on YouTube, obviously. But not everyone is everywhere else, whether it be Instagram or whether it be Twitter. Those are the two main ones that I hang out on. I don't do much on Facebook. So I'm just going to ask you all, first of all, to help me out with ideas. If you have any ideas, if you have something specific that you guys would actually want to watch on a daily basis, what would that content look like? What would that content contain? What format would it be shaped around? You know, so it would be like, would it be a news style show? Would it be tutorials? Would it just be tips and tricks? Like, what would it be? What would it look like? I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead cat when I say that, hey, I'm going to do a tips and tricks video. It's just like, how many people genuinely don't know how to set their ISO, shutter speed, and aperture at this point? How many videos can other photography channels make and people still don't get that concept? I mean, if that's what everyone is still hung up on, I mean, I can't do another shutter speed, aperture, and ISO video anymore. I mean, I've been on this damn platform for almost 7 years, and it's just like, that is the last video I want to make. There's plenty of like little tips and tricks videos and stuff like that. The one thing that I think that is current and relevant at all times is photography news. Although I'm not really a fan of news format YouTube channels, but that's just me. Maybe you guys are. So I'm all open, wide open, 100% wide open to ideas in any way, shape, or form of what kind of content you guys would actually like to watch. So I'm not necessarily set on one thing or the other. I just want to make sure that whatever I spend my time on with this channel, that it's actually going to mean something to you all. That it's actually going to resonate with you all. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was as far as just the depression stuff itself. I don't consider myself a mental illness person, you know, but I do believe that people do go through cycles and waves. It's kind of like a circadian rhythm, whether it be with sleep or whether it be with your eating patterns or whatever. I do think that certain people go through rhythms as far as their high points and their low points. Those for me are very far and few, but they're far between one another. But it's almost like every 2 or 3 months, I do go through those cycles, and it'll just sort of be like, God damn it! Like I can't do anything that seems like it's really making any impact. And I know that there are a lot of other channels on YouTube that are vying for your attention. I know that there are a lot of other content creators that are doing other things. I think much like King Solomon said, there is nothing new under the sun. So I know from a realist standpoint that nothing that I do is going to be new, earth-shaking, groundbreaking. None of that stuff is going to be happening. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that, man. So you know, none of that stuff is going to be earth-shaking or groundbreaking. And the whole process of going through little depressive cycles, I think, is very natural. I don't think that people should ignore it. I don't think that people should put it on the back burner and just like work through it. I think that you should live in that moment. I think that you should go through that. I think you should process your feelings and your emotions in a healthy way. And when you suppress them or you just bury yourself under work or stuff like that, I think to a large extent, you hurt yourself. You really do. You should get those feelings out. You should process them in a healthy way and get them out. You know, whether that just be staying outside for a while, getting some fresh air, getting the F away from everything that has ever put you under any amount of stress. And I think this goes doubly true for creative people that go through depressive states. We as creative individuals, we put so much love into our creations. If they're not well received, if they are not well liked, we kind of look at ourselves and we say, you know, well, that sucked. You know, I just threw a big chunk of my life at this thing, and it's literally appreciated by no one. And I think that's half the reason why when my fellow creators are making stuff, I make it a point. I make it an absolute point to say something, or to thumbs up their video, or to leave a nice comment, or make sure that I do something acknowledging what they've done, what they've provided me. Man, I really like that video. That was awesome. I appreciate that one. You know, you say something, that positive feedback loop goes equally as much for the creator as it does for the viewer. And when you constantly have that cycle of appreciation and thoughtfulness, being grateful, hey man, thanks for that video, it really helped me out. Then in turn, creators can be like, thank you so much. I really do appreciate all the positive feedback. And without this, you know, there is that positive feedback loop, and without it, stuff starts to break down really, really fast. I am not a huge pompous type person. Like, I've never been one to be like, haha, or anything like that. So a lot of the other YouTube photographers that I happen to subscribe to are also equally as humble. They don't gloat. They do not come off with an air of arrogance about them. I don't like that. I think people should be grateful. And when you constantly see some of these people going, well, you know, I told you that I was the master and I was the most awesomest. And it's like, that is just right before the fall. Pride always comes right before the fall. So I have never wanted to be boastful or prideful. I've always wanted to stay humble no matter how big or how small I stayed. And if we as a community of creatives ever want our work to be appreciative, we have to be appreciative of the people who come to view our stuff. So right here and now, I want to take this opportunity to thank you personally, all of you, for your amazing, encouraging words, for all of your feedback, for all of the positive words that you gave me in my time of need. And I have said this before, there are a lot of people that know me on like Instagram. They can get in touch with me at any time. They ask me questions. I make sure that I reply as fast and as humanly possible. I'm a very accessible person. I give advice all the time, especially on Instagram. People will, private message me, direct message me. I answer questions as much as I can. I try not to leave anyone unanswered as much as I possibly can. Some stuff genuinely does slip through the cracks. I'll admit that. I am human. But I do want to thank you all. The stuff and the advice and all of the nice things that you all said to me last week was absolutely invaluable. I took all of it to heart. I appreciated every single word. And I was genuinely surprised at just how much you guys said that you had gone through the exact same thing. To hear how many people experienced that level of a feeling of despair, that feeling of unmotivation, that feeling of inadequacy. I guess it just runs through many, many, many of us. I don't know if there's, a larger portion of us that it happens to just because we're creative people and we depend on that positive feedback loop of people that look and view our creations, because we're constantly throwing ourselves out there, hoping for the best possible response. But what I will say is that I had no idea that many of you had gone through the exact same thing that I was going through. And just knowing that I wasn't alone was a big thing. And it really meant the world to me, knowing that similar things happen to all of us. That you are not alone. That you are not the only one that's ever gone through it, and you will not be the only person to ever go through it. And that if we continue to support one another when some of us are feeling down, that's the reason I wish YouTube had a more tight-knit community for us to share thoughts and feelings and ideas and stuff like that. It would be easier that way. But I post all of my social media info and stuff on my channel page. You can find my Instagram and my Twitter accounts, and you guys can friend me there. And I try to respond as much as I possibly can to all of those. So again, I just want to thank you all so very much for all those kind words. And I also want to again fleece you as, you know, my YouTube family. Give me some ideas. After this video is over, please drop your ideas down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are interested in watching. I know that a lot of people are probably going to say tips, tricks, you know, reviews, that kind of thing. I've already been doing that. It hasn't gained me as much traction. But yes, having that list, just like you all did on my last video, having that list of stuff for me to go back and revisit and read would be a really big help to me. So if you guys could do that for me, I would really, really appreciate it. Give me some ideas about some shows, some show ideas, some material, anything that you guys would genuinely want to watch. Are there certain cameras that you want me to check out? Are there certain lenses you want me to check out? Tell me what you guys want to watch. So again, I want to thank you. I appreciate it. Meant absolutely the world to me. So that's all I've got for you guys tonight. I really do appreciate y'all sticking around, hanging out, and being patient with me through my little valley period here. But it's getting better. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one. Peace.